What's going on, everybody? I'm going to try to do these more often because I don't have as much time to write anymore. So I want to give a quick market update, what's happening in the world of technology, what's happening in the world of semiconductors, AI, software. So right now, just seeing a tremendous amount of momentum. I think it's going to pick up and take off probably in the next 18 months. The real kickoff, let's just talk about AI real quick. If you aren't in the world of software, you're completely oblivious to what's happening behind the scenes. Coding agents, particularly in the development world, we're talking about Anthropic's Claude Code, OpenAI's Codex, and then Gemini's anti-gravity Joules agents. These are probably the most instrumental pieces of technology that have been deployed in the last 4, 5, 6 months. They have been pivotal for the entire development, all the developers in the community. So there are about 30 million developers, I think, last time I checked, globally. Most of them are not doing the boring work anymore. And there's so many reasons why this has happened in the moment. Obviously, one of the major factors is obviously NVIDIA. Obviously, the stock has taken off over the past, since 2022, December 2022, since ChatGPT launched. But as these models get better, they get more intelligent, the GPUs from NVIDIA get more capable, everything is just kind of getting, all the pieces are coming together. And NVIDIA, from what I've seen, has one of the best open source models, which is important for the American AI ecosystem. Everyone else is a closed source model. We have Elon with Grok, now XAI, which is merging with SpaceX, combining to create which is already the largest cluster data center. So we're just seeing this rapid development on all the hardware fronts. And now that's something you cannot see. Obviously, you see it in the stock prices, but it's Micron, SanDisk, NVIDIA, now Intel, because CPUs have become the next bottleneck in demand, particularly because so much is happening in the computer. So it's really interesting to see now the supply chain from semiconductors go straight through to software, the end state. I still and I'm not even a data center guy, but I could see in the ecosystem there's so much deployment of the new and latest GPUs that have not come online yet. And really because the Blackwell Vera Rubins from NVIDIA take months and months of training and also takes billions of dollars. So I don't know who's going to do it first. I think it's going to be Grok, XAI, Elon Musk. What's going to happen is he's already done it in the last 2 weeks. He's done the partnership with Anthropic, which is pretty momentous. What's going to happen probably in the next 2, 3, 4 months, SpaceX is already planning to IPO, critical. It's going to be taking the XAI, X.com, all those intelligence systems into the SpaceX IPO, which is very important. It's going to give them a tremendous amount of capital. Because they have the largest data center, they're going to now are able to lease out their excess space. I think they were running at 11% capacity. It's important to understand if this is currently, Anthropic needs their compute, so they're leasing it from them. If it is 90, 80% vacant and Elon is running the ship, and he either has to build internally, which is his plan, which is I think Macro Hard and Macro Harder 2 are the 200,000 plus cluster GPUs in Tennessee. All the programs, all the software, all the intelligence, all the agents can probably 10x in delivery and direction. I think it's really important to understand this because it's very hard right now to grasp how much is being deployed. I'm a major Gemini Google user, and they have unlimited capital basically, and they have their own GPUs, TPUs. They use GPUs from NVIDIA. They use everything from across the ecosystem, and they still say that they are having trouble meeting demand. So if the biggest, best, and richest with the most resources has trouble maintaining stability, and Anthropic is saying is the same thing because the Anthropic is growing at $10 billion revenue per month, there's still tremendous runway left. And the really thing that I think intelligence has infinite, is limitless in terms of demand. Because there's a certain point the inflection point we're going to reach is that the agents are going to start talking to other agents, and we're going to have 10 to 100 agents per person. So if there are 8 billion people in the world, we might actually have 80 billion agents, but it really doesn't matter because they're going to be talking to themselves like bots, and cloud networks and the internet kind of works today, how it works today. These agents are going to be doing all the transactions and a lot of things on their own. So people won't see this, but I think there's just to be a significant ramp up. So what's been interesting to note now is like the memory companies have been gone up. I've seen like Samsung, SK Hynix, SanDisk, which is probably the highest number one run up, Micron, and all these major memory companies have just skyrocketed because the demand has pressed them. They cannot produce more. We've had these bottlenecks before, but nothing like this. I think the prices have continued to increase, somewhere between 15 to 30% spikes. If you didn't buy a computer last year, the price has probably gone up 30% just because of memory. Google just released like a Google Book that's getting launched in the fall. It's going to compete with Apple's Neo MacBook. I think we're just going to see like a tremendous amount of new hardware coming to the market, not just computers. Obviously, Meta glasses, and I think Google Glasses is going to release something, and the other products. Everything right now, what I talked about when I talked about coding agents is really text-based. But once we blossom into video, real-time audio, and then like robotics, I think 100x in compute capacity to like consume that much compute, the intelligence, I think is very real. And it's really this high level of intelligence plus labor that's hard to comprehend right now. It might take 2 to 10 years, but right now the demand in the next 2 years is so great that we don't even have the capacity right now to produce it. So we're simply trying to meet where the market is, and it just keeps rising. So I think it's really important to watch this. I think all these memory stocks are going to keep rising for the next 3 to 6 months, definitely before the end of the year. I think the SpaceX IPO is going to push a tremendous amount of demand for more capital to be invested in this space. I think Anthropic will be the next one. Once the SpaceX IPO is successful and they hit that $1 trillion market cap plus, which they will, Anthropic will have to IPO next because they just need the capital. They just have too much demand. There's just too much consumption, and there's too much going on there that you have to go after Anthropic next because they need the money. And then there's going to be like a plethora of different, like Anduril will probably have to IPO. Now they have their own AI, Lattice. It's like an amazing, but it's only designed for defense, and particularly US. So it's like Palantir, but it's real hardware. We're going to see like a lot of new startups. A lot of new guys are going to go to the market. There are going to be some that go private too. I watched Amex take private their global business travel group by Long Lake, which is a major private equity firm, with the intent to make it AI native, AI first. So we're going to see that, and then we're going to see that go. The bad, poor performing technology companies will go private, and the ones that have too much demand are going to go public. And the cycle will continue. I think I don't even know what the capital markets, how they're going to be able to price these things because they're moving so quick, so fast. And it is hard to implement and hard to integrate these products, but the demand is very real. So it's really interesting to watch. I'd keep an eye on it. Semiconductors is very cyclical. It's important to understand that because the capacity limits are their business cycles are very clear. They've been happening for over 50 years. So you don't want to be too overexposed, but it's really important to understand where this market is headed because it's so valuable now. So keep an eye on the memory stocks. They're hot. Keep on the 2 IPOs I think are going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months. SpaceX is definitely the one that's going to be the tipping point for the market. And Elon's not going to fail with that one because it's just too critical for humanity.